Go for the 2.com in with the Week 7 predictions. Going to be more of a rapid-fire video. The breakdowns of these games will be deeper in detail when I return to the radio show on Thursday and Friday. I'm traveling right now. Be out until this coming Thursday, so check it out. The rapid-fire selections, deeper breakdowns in terms of the radio show this coming Thursday, Friday, college football full circle. Picks start on Friday night. Big ACC battle. We have Clemson on the road as a 14.5-point favorite facing Syracuse. Syracuse playing very well right now. 3 straight covers, including Liberty, Wake Forest, and Florida State, respectively. They lost 2 of those 3 games outright. You talk about Florida State. They were catching basically 6.5 points in that ball game. Lost by 3, catching 6.5 at home against Wake Forest. Did cover that number. So 2 emotional losses within the last minute. Now they come back home to face a Clemson team that has not lived up to expectations. How will Clemson respond in this spot? Week off in terms of preparation. You'd think the Friday night game and atmosphere would benefit Syracuse. I actually think it goes in Clemson's favor. They've had an opportunity to have a week off. Friday night, prime time, a lot of eyes watching this matchup. Gives Clemson maybe the motivation to step up and prove that they're one of the better teams in the ACC and nation for that matter. Laying a big number doesn't scare me. I like the speed on the perimeter for Clemson. Also think the front 7 contains Syracuse offense, make them one-dimensional in this ballgame. Feel the Tigers should be able to cover this number fairly easy in the second half. We're laying it minus 14.5 with the Clemson Tigers Friday night. Big Ten battle taking place. You have Indiana at home as a 4.5-point favorite to face Michigan State. Michigan State right now, one of the top teams in terms of the Big Ten, dominated Rutgers as a 5-point favorite. They ran at will, forced turnovers on the defensive side of the ball, contained Rutgers' offense, made them one-dimensional, got a dominating road win, a team that they lost to last year, 37-24. They won this ballgame convincingly, 31-13. Now they go on the road. It's back-to-back road games for both Peyton Thorne and Kenneth Walker. Can they cover this number against Indiana? Indiana still battling injuries at the quarterback position. I still like Indiana, though, in this ballgame. Playing at home in Bloomington, think the front 7 can contain Kenneth Walker, force some turnovers. They're playing with house money right now. All the pressure falling on Michigan State. I think Indiana covers this number as a short underdog here, catching 4.5 points like Indiana to possibly strike the upset over Michigan State in terms of this ballgame. Another big battle taking place in the SEC. You have a rematch of last year, Florida on the road, 10.5-point favorite against LSU. LSU playing terrible football right now. They did not cover against Kentucky, did not cover a couple of weeks ago against Auburn as a short favorite, have lost 2 games outright. Kayshon Boutte, their big play wide receivers, hurt. Is probably going to miss the rest of the year with a leg injury. Looked like it was a possible strained Achilles. He's not going to be available for this ballgame. This was also the game last year that Max Johnson stepped up, got the victory over Kyle Trask and Dan Mullen the week before Florida played Alabama in the SEC championship game. But I'll tell you what, this game comes down to motivation. This game comes down to it's a rivalry. Playing at home, even though it's a 12 o'clock kick, all the eyes will be on Florida in this ball game. I like LSU to cover this number. I think Max Johnson can move the football on the secondary of Florida. Again, they might not win, but covering 10.5 points as a home dog in a rivalry game, I'll take my chances. I also think Ed Orgeron finds a way to motivate the Tigers after 2 straight losses. His job is on the line. He most likely will not be the coach there, but LSU rallies in this type of circumstance and then does cover the 10.5-point number in this ballgame. Keeping it in the SEC right now, big battle taking place at night in Neyland Stadium. You have Ole Miss that opened up as a 4-point favorite. They bet it down immediately to 2.5. Tennessee playing very well right now under Josh Heupel. They abused Missouri, rushed for 456 on the ground. They followed that up with another dominant home win as a 10.5-point favorite over South Carolina, but they got a different animal here with Ole Miss and Matt Corral. Ole Miss held on. They did not allow Arkansas to convert a 2-point conversion in the final play of the game. Gave up a touchdown with 1 second left. They found a way to gut it out, win that ball game 52-51. But you have a tale of 2 teams. You have with Josh Heupel in Tennessee hitting on all cylinders. They're starting to understand the scheme running the football more effectively. Hendon Hooker playing lights out right now, but they're still there. They're still a raw, inexperienced team at this point. Even though they're playing much better, they're nowhere near where the offense is for Ole Miss and Matt Corral, and that's the difference, is that another year in Lane Kiffin's scheme, that both teams mirror each other. It's just that Ole Miss has the personnel and has the talent and the quarterback to do it better. Laying a short number, under 3. Love Ole Miss on the road. Will be a tough environment, but if you're Matt Corral and you're supposed to be a top NFL prospect, you have to go into Neyland Stadium. You have to find a way to potentially pull this game out. Laying a short number of 2.5. Love Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels to get it done in this ballgame. Another big battle taking place in Camp Randall. Tricky matchup. You have Army as a 12.5-point dog facing off against Wisconsin. 12.5 points in terms of the triple option seems like a doable type of atmosphere when you're facing Wisconsin, a methodical blue-collar offense, ground and pound, passing attack is non-existent. Problem is, in order to shut down the triple option, you need big, you need physical defensive tackles that could disrupt the timing in terms of the zone blocking scheme, and that's exactly what Wisconsin does. Wisconsin's very big up front. They have the defensive tackles in the front 7 to really disrupt the timing of a smaller offensive line in terms of Army. They're going to try and get out on the perimeter. This is just a bad matchup for the Cadets. The physicality of the offense and defensive lines of Wisconsin, I think they're able to run at will on Army in this ballgame. Both teams are going to run. It's just Wisconsin's going to do it much better. This is a short number for Wisconsin to lay, and we've seen Army step up against some of the Power 5 teams over the past few years. Went toe-to-toe with Oklahoma in Norman, pushed them to the limit. Went toe-to-toe with Michigan and Ann Arbor, covered that number, went down to the fourth quarter. This is going to be a blowout special. I think the physicality is way too much for the Wisconsin Badgers against an undersized offense and defense lines in Army. Blowout special for Paul Chryst. He finally gets it right. Wisconsin runs away with a clear double-digit victory over the Cadets in that ballgame. Another big ball game taking place is Oklahoma and TCU. You have Oklahoma that coming off a monumental win over Texas, down 28-7. They found a way. Caleb Williams stepped up. He took over for Spencer Rattler. The defense made adjustments, shut down Casey Thompson, forced turnovers. Kennedy Brooks and the rushing attack took over. They now face TCU that has played them very well in recent years. TCU with a dominant road win over Texas Tech as a short favorite, 2.5 points. They now go on the road to Norman. I'll tell you what, Oklahoma better be motivated for this type of spot. The fact that they were on life support, pulled it out, and got a victory over Texas, I think they step up. They understand what's ahead of them, and they continue the momentum against TCU. I know TCU is typically played them very tough in terms of Max Duggan and the crew. They're not going to be able to run on the front 7 of Oklahoma, like Oklahoma, to cover this number, -10.5, -11 at home in Norman. I think they make a statement against the TCU Horned Frogs at home in this Big 12 ballgame. Another matchup takes place in the SEC. We have Georgia, 23.5, 24-point favorite over Kentucky. Kentucky, what can you say? 6-0 on the year. Will Levis, Chris Rodriguez, Wan'Dale Robinson, amazing performance against LSU. But more importantly, the defense is really coming to form under Mark Stoops. The front 7 is solid, making opposing offenses one-dimensional, forcing long third down situations. This is an offense that is converting close to 50%. They're able to sustain drives. They're playing a hot team in Georgia. Georgia dominated. Bo Nix, front 7 was dominant, did not give up a touchdown until the last fourth quarter against the Auburn Tigers. Forced Tank Bigsby into short running lanes, did not have any big play chunk yards in that ball game. Now they face off in terms of a monumental SEC East game. All eyes are on Georgia. They're number 1 in terms of this atmosphere. Stetson Bennett stepped up. This was a 14-3 game last year with Joey Gatewood at the helm. Are you a believer in Kentucky? There's major losses in terms of the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot of people that are injured for this ball game. Starting defensive tackle, linebacker are out. You would think that Georgia's going to run away with this ball game, but I'll tell you what. Kentucky, I think it still has the physicality on the offensive line to run on the front seven of Georgia. They're catching 23.5 points in this ballgame. They're definitely not going to win, but I'll take the house money with the Kentucky Wildcats, and I think they find a way to cover this number against Georgia. All the pressure on Georgia now being named top team in the conference. I don't know if that bodes well for Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels and that Georgia team overall. We'll see how it plays out, but give me Kentucky plus the 23.5 points in this ballgame. Those are your selections. Clemson, Indiana, we have Oklahoma, we have Ole Miss, we have LSU, we have Wisconsin, and we have Kentucky for your selections for week number 7. Listen to the radio show to get deeper breakdowns. I'll be back on Thursday. Hope you have a great week, everyone. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the follow. Talk to you soon.